Hello everyone, welcome to Bad Fashions YouTube channel. My name is Eunice. Thank you for clicking on this video. If this is your first time of stopping by my channel, please kindly subscribe and put on the notification bell so that you get notified once I post a new video. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for coming back. So today we're going to be learning how to make a basket yoke. So I already have my gown cut out already. It's just a very simple gown. It's a cut together with sleeve. So I'm just going to run through it very briefly. So here is my chest line, the waistline, the hip line, and of course the hem. And then you can see I have my shoulder slope already. So cut together with sleeve. You can see where the armhole measurement is, the chest line. I came down from the shoulder to get the chest line, which is where the armhole measurement is. You see, on this point, I entered quarter of the person's bust measurement. In this case, her bust is 40. So this is where quarter of 40, that's 10 inches. And then I went ahead to add 3 inches. I want this gown to be really free. So you can see where my 3 inches ends here. I came down from this part. You can see this is the regular armhole, but you can see that I came down this way because I'm doing the cut together with sleeve. So on the chest line, I went down by 1 inch and created an arc this way, and then I connected it to how wide I want the sleeve to be. So let's take our measurement from here. From here to here, you can see I have 22.5 inches. All I did was the length of my wrapper. That's the length of Ankara. Ankara is by 45. So I folded it into two. This is in order to maintain the center pattern I have here. So that's how I arrived at this. So our area of concentration today is on the basket yoke. So I just want us to understand how I arrived at this cut together with sleeve. So this is just my gown. So instead of adding my regular 2 inches allowance, I added 3 in this case. I want this gown to be really free. It's a boo-boo. I'll be sewing on 1 inch. So if I have added 3 inches and I'm sewing on 1 inch, I'm going to be left with 2 inches, which is about 8 inches. So it's going to give that very free, rich auntie vibe that this dress needs, or this boo-boo needs. So now we're going to go to the neckline. So to get our basket yoke, first I'm going to mark the neck width I'm using. I have my front and back piece here. This dress is not going, this gown is not going to have a zipper. So you can see the front and back are equal. So I'm going to mark the neck yoke here, the neck width, sorry, here. I'm using a neck width of 4 inches and then a neck depth of 1.5 for the back. So I'll go ahead and mark it this way. And then for the front, I'll be using a neck depth of 4 inches. So this is 4 by 4. So of course I have my width here already. So I'm just going to curve the neckline this way. So now I have the front and the back neckline. So I'll go ahead and cut out the back first, because this is what they have in common. And then of course I'll move down the back and then cut the front neckline. So having done this, you can see I now have my front neckline and the back neckline. So now it's time for us to create the yoke. So I'm going to come here now to the neckline here. From these 4 inches I have, I'll be coming out by 5 inches. That's from the 4 inches width of my neckline. I'll be coming down by 5 inches. So in all, when you add it to the 4 inches, that will be 9 inches. So from here, I'm coming out by 5 inches. And then I'll come here to the neckline here. I will come down by 6 inches. Okay, let me do 5.5. So here is my 5.5. First, you need to put into consideration, where is the client's bust point? Okay, the bust point of my client is on 11 inches. So you can see that this is where my 11 inches is. Remember that by the time I join the shoulders together with half inch, because I'll be joining the front and back with half inch, haven't done that, this will take me up again to 10.5. So you want to put all that into consideration so that you don't expose the person's bust. So right now from this point, I can see that this is already close to the bust line. I want it to be a little higher. So I'm going to go up by 1 inch from this point. So by going up by 1 inch from this point, so that means automatically I came down by 4.5. I hope we understand. So this is 4.5. So I'm going to curve from this point, from this 5 inches I have here to this point. You see? So this is it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Take note that I have both my front and back. So I'm going to be cutting on both the front and back together at the same time, because this yoke I'll have it for both the front and the back. So I haven't cut out this, so meaning I'm going to be replacing this yoke with a basket. Okay, so with a basket yoke. So now I'll come to this side, which is the sleeve. From here, from the end of my sleeve here, from the end of the sleeve here, I will come in, by 5.5 from here. That's from the beginning of the sleeve here. So I'm just going to straighten my lines this way. So, and then I'll go ahead and cut out this part. So this part too will also be replaced with the basket. Okay, so the basket. So now, having cut out the sleeve, I will indicate that this is the upper part. And this is the down part. So I'm just going to notch this part, and then I'll also notch the part that will be joined to this part. This is what I mean. You can see I notch this part that will be joined to this part, and then I notch the upper part. So now I'm going to place this on my pattern paper and cut what I have here. I'm going to be cutting it with a sewing allowance. I'll be adding 1 inch to this measurement. Remember, I cut it out from here. So by the time I'm joining it back, I'm going to lose half inch from here and also lose half inch from here. So I will increase this by 1 inch. I hope that is clear. I'll increase this by 1 inch. And then for this one too, remember that I'll come back here to join them together. For the yoke also, remember I'll be coming back to join them back here. So I'm going to place this on my pattern paper too and cut with extra 1 inch, which is going to be for my sewing allowance, because by the time I join it with half inch here and half inch here from the yoke, of course I'm going to lose 1 inch. So that 1 inch extra will serve as my sewing allowance. So I'll cut it out and then I'll show us how to cut the strips we use for the basket. So I've gone ahead to cut out my yoke on this paper. You can see I increased it by 1 inch like I earlier said I was going to do. And see, so this is for my front yoke. So now I went ahead to draw 1 inch. I went ahead to draw horizontal lines and vertical lines, and my spacing is 1 inch each. You see, first I drew vertical lines, and then I went ahead to draw horizontal lines. All the boxes are 1 inch each of them. Okay, so this is it. I also repeated the same thing for the sleeve. So now for the sleeve, you can see I have one piece, and when we were cutting, we had two pieces. We had two pieces. And you see, so all I did was to place my sleeve this way, because this is how I'm going to be joining them. I placed it this way and then went ahead to cut out exactly what I have here. Then of course I increased this by 2 inches. I want the sleeve to be a little longer than I have there. So I increased it by 2 inches. 1 inch will serve as my sewing allowance, which is also the same thing I did here. And then 1 inch will increase the length of the basket that I'm trying to make. And you see what we have. So, and then I went ahead to cut out strips, Ankara strips. This strip each is 2 inches. Okay, 2 inches, as you can see. So all I'll be doing to achieve what I'm doing right now, I'll be folding it into two first. When I fold into two, I'll have 1 inch. So this 1 inch, I'll go ahead and fold it into two this way, and then this way. So at the end of the day, each of the strip will be half inch, okay? And then I will place this first on the horizontal line. That's after I must have pressed it. I'll definitely iron it so that it's flat this way before I go ahead and fold it over this way. Make sure to iron it well so that it's really flat, as you can see what I have here. Then I'll go ahead to place it on the horizontal line first and stitch it down on this paper, which is what you can see I have done here already on the front yoke. So after sewing it this way, I'm going to show us how I'm going to place the vertical lines to achieve my yoke. So that was what I'll do that and come back and show us. So after stitching down my strips horizontally, so now I'm going to place them vertically this way so I can see my lines already, my 1 inch spacing lines. All I need to do is to place it. I'll start from this tip here. I'm going to stitch it down here first, which is the open side. I will stitch it down and come and stitch it down here again. For this particular strip, you'll be stitching, or this ones will be stitching twice. You stitch here on this side and also stitch here on this side. This is to make sure that it's staying down, unlike this one that I just sewed once. Can you see what we have? So you don't need to do this, the horizontal ones, twice. It's the vertical ones that you will do twice. So you stitch down this way and also stitch down this way. So let me show us the back piece that has already been done. Can you see? I stitched down both ways, so they are all sitting nicely. No one is going up. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that for the front piece, and I'll also repeat it for the sleeves. You can see what I have. I'll do the same thing all for both sleeves. So I'll do that and then show us how to create the bias that I'll be using to turn the neckline, because we can't leave the neckline like this. I'll do that. And also for the back, I'm going to be having an opening. From seeing this neckline, you can see that it's quite high. So for the head to be able to pass, I'll need to have an opening at the center back. Okay, so I'm going to do that and then I'll come back and show us. So I'm done sewing my strips. I've created the basket. I've also done the same thing for this one. You can see the vertical line. So all you need to do now is to take off the paper. I've removed my paper and I've done that for all of them. So now the next thing I'll be doing now is to cut the bias I'll be using to turn the neckline, the front neckline. So first, you can see this is my leftover Ankara. I'm going to be folding it on bias. Can you see? By folding it in a triangular shape like this, you can see it is stretchy. But if I fold it this way, you can see it's not really as stretchy as this. Okay, so I'm going to fold on bias now. I'll be marking 3/4 of an inch. 3/4 of an inch. On my 3/4 of an inch, I'll go ahead and connect it with a straight line. Okay, so now I'm going to measure the length I have here. I have about 18 inches here. I'll go ahead and measure the neckline also. So this is about 13 inches. So that means this is enough to give me the bias for my neckline. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. So the same thing I have done for the front, I'm going to also do for the back. So you can see that the back neckline is quite high, so it's not as wide as the front. So here I have about 8 inches. So for this back, because I will have to have an opening at the back that will allow the head pass, so I'm going to fold it into two like this. Can you see? I'm folding into two. So I'm going to slash it opened. So after slashing the back piece opened like this, so the next thing I'll do is to get my bias tape. I'm going to be placing the bias on on the right side rather. I'm going to place it like this on the neckline, and then I'll sew this way, and then bring it down curved like this. Can you see that? I bring it, and then I'll go ahead and turn it to the wrong side like this. This is just to make sure that you neatly cover up this place. And then of course you can see that here is curved. So I'm just going to sew it, and then I'll show us how to take care of this curved part so that everything sits well. So I'll do that and come back and show us. So I'm done top stitch sewing my bias to the neckline. You see, this is what it looks like on the right side, on the wrong side, and this is the right side. So all I need to do now is to trim out my excess. So for the back now, this is what I did. I top stitched my facing, and you see I followed this curved shape. So for the second one, I'm going to be having my elastic. Remember that this back is going to be opened this way. So I'll need to have an elastic that I'll use to close up the button this way. So I've top sewn my bias from the wrong side. And you can see I inserted my elastic in between. Can you see what it is? So now all I need to do is to go ahead and top stitch it this way. So the elastic will come out from the back. This is so that we can button up this side. Of course, you can't leave this side open like this. It has to be buttoned up so that everything is sitting all nice. So for the sleeves also, I've top stitched my bias here. I've used it to finish off the end. You can see it's looking neat also. So for the second one, I did the same thing. So now for this back, I'm just going to go ahead and top stitch it this way, and then I'll go ahead and fix it to the gown. Okay, so the our area of concentration here the is the is the yoke. That's the basket yoke. So all I need to do now is to place it this way and sew it to the neckline. Can you see that? I'm going to sew it to the neckline like this. I'll also do the same thing for the back, and then I'll show us. As you can see, I fixed my basket yoke to the gown, to the neckline. Can you see? And this is what I have too at the back. You see, this will allow the head pass. And you can see my elastic for the button loop. So this is what we have at the back. And I've also gone ahead to fix the basket here too to the sleeve here. So this is what we have. So I went ahead to line it. This is to actually neatly finish it. So that this part, because if you don't line it, you either weave this part and top stitch it. I don't want it to be like that. And I also want this dress to have weight, okay? So that the person doesn't necessarily have to wear it with an underwear. So this is what we have. So I hope that you have learned a thing or two from this video. Kindly subscribe to my channel, share this with your friends, and do not forget to put on the notification bell so that you get notified once I post a new video. So I'm going to be wearing this on the mannequin so that we can see the outcome. Thank you. So here we are. This is what our gown looks like on the mannequin. And you see how beautiful the basket yoke came out. This is the back side. Everything is sitting all nice, neat, and pretty. Thank you for watching this video. See you in my next one. Bye.